Good afternoon. I sincerely apologize for not being with you guys this afternoon. It's the first time that I miss an event or even a class at IH, and I feel really terrible. Especially that I wanted to talk to you today about a subject that I'm very impassioned with, using online technologies to support or supplement our teaching of English. It's also the very first time that I make a video, so I hope you will be indulgent. Mind you, I'm still a novice at ESL and teaching in general. And I'm sure many of you are already using electronic media in your teaching much more than I do, and in a very effective way. My interest for the subject stems mainly from four preoccupations of mine. First, I'm looking for ways to answer recurrent questions from my students, no matter their English proficiency. Questions such as, how can I improve my listening? Or my vocabulary? Or my writing? Teacher, where can I find useful or more importantly, interesting material? Second, I would love to get a more constant engagement from my students, both with the language itself and with their personal learning process, as I noticed a certain lack of sustained self-study discipline in most of them. Third, I'm looking for ways to free up as much time as possible for in-class skill developing activities. Finally, I feel it is my responsibility to my students, as a teacher, to help them develop their digital skills, which are so important to compete and succeed in today's and tomorrow's world. And for those who are already digitally literate, I want to give them a sense of relevance, of modernity from what we are doing together. So I came up with a couple of ideas that I presented to Nora and Marta, and that I would really love to hear you comment upon today. They are, on the first hand, to progressively build portfolios of open source digital archives and reference materials that are in tune with the different proficiency levels we are teaching. But more about that in a moment. On the second hand, to evaluate how IH could move part of its English teaching offering to an online approach, be it through blended or flipped classes, or outright online or distance tutored classes. So my first idea is, in broad terms, to create portfolios, or reference files if you prefer, made openly or privately available to our students, and that are graded for their level. It could also include some ungraded material. I'm thinking of free-to-use texts, such as ebooks, audios, podcasts, magazine articles, TV shows, online videos from YouTube, Vimeo, etc., songs, as well as more reference materials such as grammatical explanation, exercises, pronunciation or vocabulary teaching videos created by other talented teachers and offered freely on the internet. These lists could be accompanied by guides on how to best use said resources, or even suggestions as how to maintain a proficient personal routine. Some references could be regrouped to support the different learning units in our in-class teaching material, while others would act as general quote-unquote entertaining material. I have just started working on some such portfolios, beginning with level 100. I intend to build them progressively over the next months. I would certainly more than welcome any suggestions on contents, means of presentation, or any other contribution you might have. Of course, it's very important to know if you feel this is relevant to our purpose. The second project is related to moving part of what we do online. There are already some online classes offered by IH World, but they are really not what I have in mind. I strongly believe in the value of physical direct interaction, at least on an episodic basis, between teachers and students to anchor language learning and favor the socialization of the language. But I also believe that a lot of the structured learning can be done outside of the classroom. I don't know if most of you are familiar with the concept of flipped classroom, flipped learning, which is somewhat different, or blended learning. Let's say that flipped learning is a pedagogical approach in which direct instruction moves from the group learning space to the individual learning space, and the resulting group space is transformed into a more dynamic, interactive learning environment where the educator, us, guide the students as they apply concepts and engage creatively in the subject matter. Such concepts rely heavily on the use of the digital technologies to support the process. Many language teachers are progressively adopting such an approach. If you have time today, I provided a short introductory video that could help you grasp the concept. I would love to work with a team of teachers from IH under Nora's guidance to explore these and other uses of online communication technologies, including 100% online classrooms. This could be fun and also prepare us for a revolution that is already happening in a lot of universities around the world, not only in language teaching, but for all subject matters. I personally just completed a great online course titled Learning to Teach Online, offered by the University of New South Wales, Australia. That was a revealing experience. I also intend to start taking next October 17 a 5-week IH World training course. It's titled the IH Certificate in Online Tutoring. I hope some of you could join me. That would make for interesting and rewarding professional exchanges. Well, I wish to thank Nora and Marta for providing me with the opportunity to present these ideas to you all. I hope this will generate some positive discussions and maybe the start to a collaborative effort. Why not create a closed or private Facebook group to discuss it further? Thanks to all, and have a good evening.